Good morning, good morning, good morning. Ako, nahuli na naman yung ating music bed dyan. Okay, good morning to all of you. Welcome to the program Agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran. Thanking you for being subscribers of Cignal TV and viewers of One News PH, particularly the program Agenda. Today is January 19, 2022. It's a Wednesday. Welcome to all our viewers from Luzon, Visayas to Mindanao, as well as abroad who are watching us via facebook.com/onenewsph. And for those of you who want to be sure that you can watch us regularly, dun po sa YouTube. Panoorin niyo po kami sa YouTube. Just enter One News PH Agenda and I am sure you will find us there. Thank you for giving us your time this morning. It's going to be an interesting morning as we read the news and of course, we do the interviews. Ang una po nating may interview ay ang boss, ang hepe, ang chief ng Public Attorney's Office and walang iba kundi si Attorney Persida Acosta and she has taken a contrary position to the DOTR sa no-vax, no travel policy and mukhang tama yung ali kasi meron ng mga nagsalitang it's anti-constitutional and also of course the clarification from the Department of Labor na teka, yung mga laborers, yung mga workers hindi sakop ng no-vax, no vax, no travel policy. Kasi nga naman, it was intended to keep people who were unvaccinated at home. People who had no special, essential reason for traveling. Ayan na po. Yan ang sinasabi ko kahapon na nauna na naman ang dada sa gawa ang gawa sa dada ika nga kasi ang nangyari ginawa hindi naman pala pinag-usapan. Okay, anyway, let's not start the day in such a kumbaga basag ulo kagad. We will get to that eventually. We will also be speaking for those of you who like cars. Aspirational naman po yung second half ng ating program when we speak to the representative of Lexus. Kung di nyo alam kung ano yung Lexus, yung po lang naman ang isa sa pinaka high quality, magandang sasakyan sa mundo and of a Japanese make, but reasonable compared to all the other luxury brands in the world. But they are celebrating their 13th anniversary and syempre itaas naman natin ang antas ng ating pangarap. Hindi yung magkaroon lang na 4 na gulong game na. Hindi. Medyo there is nothing wrong in being aspiring for luxury things in our lives. Kasi yun din ang problema natin sa Pilipinas. Masyado na tayong pumayag na pwede na. Okay na yan, pagtiyagaan na, o sige, ukay-ukay, second hand, basta ayos. There's nothing wrong in aspiring for luxury items like a Lexus. Now, let's go to our daily starter to get the day right. And our daily starter for today is from Deuteronomy 8:18. But remember the Lord your God. Tandaan, huwag niyong kakalimutan ang Diyos, for it is He who gives you the ability to produce wealth, and so confirms His covenant which He swore to your ancestors as it is today. Many of us, we have parents, grandparents, great-grandparents na mataimtim na nagdasal noong mga unang panahon para ma-bless yung kanilang angkan, yung kanilang mga anak, apo at apo sa tuhod. And God has kept His covenant with all our elders. Ang problema lang po, many of us have become too busy at work, have become too self-indulged or ika nga, bumilib sa sarili na nakalimutan na natin na lahat ng gagaling sa Panginoon. So let us not forget the Lord Because baka mamaya nyo kamo, pag tinamaan kayo ng COVID, na atake kayo, eh biglang sasabihin nyo, Panginoon ko, tulungan mo ako. Biglang nakaalala ka, no? Okay, so yun po, no? Let us not forget the Lord, for it is He who gives us the ability to create wealth. Okay, now let's go to the front page of the Philippine Star. Okay, ayan po. January 19, 2022. Front page headline, workers exempted from no vax, no ride policy. Okay, sinabi po ni Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello III that the no vax, no ride rule does not apply to workers. That's very clear. So there should be no reason to doubt or to question the policy, said Abelio said at a Malacanang press briefing. Eh, yan na po kasi yung pinag-implement ninyo, general. Ayan na. Ngayon, meron kayong general problem o general headache kasi ang dami pong nagalit dahil meron ng video, yung GMA 7 yata yun, na merong rider na partially vaccinated, one dose. Eh merong time lag yun eh. May 3 to 6 months na delay for the second dose. Hindi pinasakay. Ayan na po. Yan yung mga tawag nga abuse of authority. At the heading of the front page, header, 97% of COVID cases now Omicron. According to the Department of Health, nagwagi na si Omicron. The dominant variant in the Philippines now is the Omicron variant of COVID-19. Then, experts see no need for fourth dose. Hindi na raw kailangan ng fourth dose, at least for now. Yan naman lagi. Sasabihin, hindi na kailangan. Okay na tayo. Biglang may puputok na naman na variant. Eh, eto na naman. May makakagawa na naman ng bagong dose o bagong vaccine. Eh, eto na naman. Anyway, experts see no need for fourth dose because totoo nga naman na the current booster is doing the job. And in fact, we are seeing, and I have seen this in some families, there are some families na kung 8 sila, may isang taong hindi tinabla ng Omicron because of the person's T cells. And that is indicative that the vaccine program or process is now beginning to take root, and one by one may mga tao ng ika nga parang mas matindi ang resistensya. Meantime, Secretary of Health Francisco Duque has reported to the President that more regions in Luzon primarily are at critical risk. Ang ibig pong sabihin niya, dinig naman yung interview natin kay Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere, na yung pag-critical risk, maraming meron. Maraming nagkasakit ng COVID. Okay, particularly Omicron. Marami sa atin dinapuan ng Omicron, including yours truly. However, it is not as toxic, not as deadly as Delta. So, hindi napupuno yung mga hospital. Critical level yung number of cases. Kumbaga, medyo nakakapag-alala na sa dami. Pero kung hospital ang pag-uusapan, hindi po nagkakapunuan. Nasa 49% laang. Eh, pagdating ng 70, ayan na ang mga lockdown. Pag 70% na ang punuan ng mga ICU, etc. Okay. Meantime, the World Health Organization has stated that for us to end the pandemic, the entire world, the whole world needs to be vaccinated, because if there are few pockets or may mga naiiwang mga tao at lugar na hindi bakunado, eh doon makakabawi buwelo, or those are the places or people that the virus will take advantage of and continue to spread its work. Okay. Now, the government has tapped into, if you look at all of those pictures, meron pong drive-thru service ang Mercury Drug dyan sa President Quirino Avenue. Tapos yung sa Manila Zoo, yung picture na yan, hindi po yan tourist promotion picture. It is a photo of areas that are anticipated to be members or participants in the res bakuna sa mga botika or pharmacy-based vaccination centers. Okay, and those participating branches will be Healthway Manila Clinic, Mercury Drug Malate Quirino Avenue, South Star Drug Marikina, Watson's SM Supercenter Pasig, Generica Drugstore Cignal 1 in Taguig, the Generics Pharmacy in Parañaque, and Qualimed Clinic McKinley Road, Makati. Ayun po, medyo nahuli ang Pilipinas kasi masyado tayong nag-depend sa mga LGU at sa mga ospital para magbakunahan. Well, this is actually, this res bakuna sa butika is a adaptation of what has been going on in America and in Europe, where pharmacists are actually doubling up or allowed to vaccinate people. Doon nga yung mga kaibigan ko ang iba, pumunta lang sa pharmacy sa Amerika, nabakunahan, tapos bumalik na sa Pilipinas. Yun naman, ganun ka gumawa ng paraan ng Pilipino. Anyway, okay. Philippine users can now report misleading tweets. Okay, ayan po, kasi ito pong kumpanya, itong may hawak ng Twitter, okay? They have adopted a program that will allow users in the Philippines and other small countries such as Brazil and Spain to report to Twitter misleading tweets, kasi this is an offshoot of what happened in the US, where they saw the Twitter wars and Twitter messages were used to assault other people. Ayan na, gumawa na ng paraan ang Twitter para dito sa Pilipinas, especially with our campaign period on the go, matigilan niyang pambababoy, panggugulo at panlilinlang. Okay, COVID tally of Philippine cases, active cases 284 kasi marami na rin daw gumaling. Okay, 284,458. New confirmed cases 28,471. Number of deaths 34. And it seems that the health experts are saying that in Metro Manila, bumababa. So magandang balita. Meanwhile, President Rodrigo Duterte has okayed the expansion of face-to-face classes in low-risk areas. Doon sa mga lugar na hindi delikado o konti ang kaso ng COVID, at pumapayag where the local government officials agree and the parents of students in a said school approve of the face-to-face. Pero if parents don't like and the mayor don't like, no way, you stay online. Okay, last but not the least, excuse me, picture of the wolf moon. Pinagkakaaguluhan niya ng mga ibang tao sa Facebook. Napakaganda raw na itsura ng buwan. Okay, ewan ko lang. Okay, kasi ang hirap, ang dami na nila. Mayroon silang pink moon, may blue moon, may wolf moon. Anyway, ang abangan nyo po, yung moon cake. Kasi malapit na February, yung Chinese New Year, meron nang nagpadala sa akin ng brown moon cake. Okay, that's the news. That's the front page of the Philippine Star for today. Thank you very much, Philippine Star. And thank you to PLDT for your home fiber optic internet na sumusuporta sa amin. And of course, yung ating eyeglasses, Essilor Philippines, Emily Roleda, and Vinyas Optical. Pasensya na kayo, loyal sila. Imagine, more than 20 years, walang programa, may TV show, walang TV show. Nandiyan dyan yung Essilor at Vinyas. They've been very faithful friends and supporters. Okay, now let's go to the main part of our show. let's go and speak with kumbaga sa masabong kontrapelo, palaban, okay? Hindi umaatras. Unpopular as it might be, risky as it might be, this lady, I have known her for years. We have been on the same side and we have been on opposite sides, pero friends pa rin kami. Attorney Persida Rueda-Acosta, Chief of the Public Attorney's Office. Attorney, good morning.
Good morning, Kuya Cito. Good morning, mga kababayan, OFWs Global.
Okay, talaga namang hindi ka nagbabago, walang kupas. And I wasn't surprised when you took a contrary position yesterday dito sa no vax, no travel policy. Now, I'll give you the time to explain yourself kasi mukhang after you issued your statement, naglabasan na lahat ng mga kalaban mo sa radyo at sa telebisyon.
Hindi naman, mas marami naman ang sumusuporta, Kuya Cito. Kitang-kita naman namin sa aming page. At makikinabang po nito ay ang maralitang Pilipino, lalo yung mga wala pang access sa bakuna. Kinakampanya pa nga lang talaga ng gobyerno. Kaya lang, pinaparusahan na may penalty. In fact, yung ordinansa ng Quezon City, merong mga fine na dinescribe hanggang 5,000. Punitive in character. At the other day, may mga hinuli, dinala sa circle. At yung iba daw ay pinabakunahan kahit ayaw. At yung iba, nung dumating yung mga PAW lawyers, pinauwi naman. So in fairness, kahapon may press release si Mayor Joy na magiging lenient na di umano sila dito sa Quezon City. At alam natin na hindi pwedeng ipilit ito. Dapat voluntary. Kasi sa DOH portal mismo, nasusulat, abay may right of refusal ang tao sa mga gamot o bakuna. Hindi mo pwedeng ipilit dahil ang tao mismo nakakaalam ng kanyang katawan. At hindi lang yun. Dito sa batas na ginawa ng Kongreso, yung Republic Act 11525, inamin ng Kongreso na ito ay experimental pa. Kaya wala pang CPR, Certificate of Product Registration, na kapag may CPR, meron ng safety, efficacy, at meron ng quality. Pero wala pa, EUA pa lang to sa buong mundo nga So sa puntong yan, hindi natin masisisi mga kababayan natin iba na nagse-second thought. At dito rin sa batas na ito na ginawa ng Kongreso, Republic Act number 11525, abay nagtatag ng 500 million indemnity fund. Ibig sabihin, expected talaga at nasusulat dito para sa serious adverse effects. At hindi lang yun. Walang liability ang mga manufacturer. May immunity sila from suit. Hindi sila pwede demanda kung may mamatay o ma-incapacitate. Pati yung DOH, walang liability. Ngayon, nagkakaroon tayo ng tinatawag na mass experimentation para lang ilabanan ang pandemic. Tapos ngayon, parurusahan ng ayaw magpabakuna.
Okay, let's start from the beginning, Attorney Acosta. Are you doing this voluntarily on your own accord or is it in response? Meron po bang dumulog sa inyo o nakiusap, tumawag sa PAW na sabi, ma'am, pwede po bang pangunahan ninyo yung opposition dito or can you take legal action? Kasi syempre, you're still representing the Public Attorney's Office. So we must separate Persida Acosta, the private citizen, from Persida Acosta, the head of PAW.
Ganito yun, Kuya, no? Yung aking Facebook account, 2, tsaka fan page ko sa pangalan ko, bat yun ng mga pakiusap ng taong bayan na tulungan sila, lalo yung mga unvaccinated. Talagang tulungan sila. Palayan, at pati sa email, sa aking messenger, ang dami pong bumabaha. Nanahimik ako. Talagang tumahimik ako. Pero nung mag-report sa akin yung mga doktor ko na 91, about 97 ang vaccine namin na na-COVID pa rin at nagkasakit. At tapos ilan lang yung hindi bakunadong na-COVID. Sabi ko, ano to? Paano natin mapipilit ang mga tao magpabakuna kung ako-COVID ka pa rin at meron din naman talagang admitted din na mamatay?
Okay, so clearly vaccination is an individual choice. Kasi kahapon nung pinapakinggan ko yung mga balita, parang may mga taong pinapalabas na this is your personal advocacy because you are a non-vaxxer. May nagsabing hindi ka raw bakunado, kontra ka sa bakuna. So yun yung ano mo, agenda mo, so to speak.
Ay hindi, agenda 'tong palabas natin, wala pong agenda na ako'y anti-vaxxer. Kumpleto po ako ng bakuna, pati yung sa cervical cancer. At yung 5 kapatid ko, yung 4 sa Melbourne, isa sa US, bakunado po ng COVID vaccine. Yung panganay ko, bakunado ng Moderna. Yung bunso ko na lang hindi pa nabakunahan at ako, kasi hinihintay namin dalawa yung protein base na parating. At yun ay pwede sa akin, sabi ng aking mga doktor, dahil ako ay may hypertension at meron akong history ng serious allergic reaction. Biglang kumapal ang mukha ko, buong katawan ko, namantal, kumapal. So hindi ako basta pwedeng gumamit ng bagong gamot na hindi aakma sa aking cellular system.
Okay, so you are not opposing the DOTR policy because you are an anti-vaxxer. Hindi kayo anti-vaxxer,
Hindi po.
bakunado kayo, etc. Now,
Yung karapatan ng tao po, ng mga tao, ayon sa konstitusyon, ang moving factor, Article 3, Section 1, no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, and property without due process of law, nor any person can be denied of the equal protection of the law. Nasusulat po yan eh. Wala namang
Okay.
valid distinction ng bakunado at hindi bakunado. Parehong tao yan eh. Parehong
Okay.
mamamayan yan. Parehong kailangan maghanap buhay.
Yung equal attorney, sandali lang po, no? Yung equal protection of the law, kasi yun ang hindi nakikita o nadidinig masyado ng mga tao. Kahapon nadinig ko si Attorney Agabin ba yun, yung dating dean ng UP College of Law, who stated that this no vax, no ride policy of the DOTR is unconstitutional, and he pointed out that there must be equal protection of the law, under the law. Pakiliwanag nga po sa mga hindi nakakaintindi, ano ba yung prinsipyo? What is the principle of equal protection under the law?
Ang equal protection, dapat, kung karapatan mo, hindi ka bibigyan ng karapatan, may valid distinction. Ngayon, meron na ba yung scientific basis na ang unvaccinated makakahawa? Yung unvaccinated na walang COVID, walang sintomas, makakahawa? O yung bakunado na sinaksakan na ng COVID virus, sino makakahawa? Bakit mas papaboran yung bakunado na may dala ng COVID virus dahil ibinakuna na yung virus sa kanila para ma-immune? O itong hindi pa nababakunahan? Ang sa totoo lang, ang ating maralitang Pilipino, pinaparusahan na eh. May mga ordinansa na merong fine. O at mga establishment, parurusahan, may fine. Tapos kapipirma lamang itong isang ordinansa ng 6 ng Enero, ano lang ngayon, wala pang 15 days, in-implement na nila. Samantalang nasusulat sa Article 2 ng New Civil Code, bago magkaroon ng effectivity ang isang batas, kailangan may 15 days publication niya, lalong may penalty involved na fine. Kaya nakikita natin dito, ano yung meron yung walang bakuna, na wala sa nabakunahan. Baliktad eh. Yung bakunado nga ang dapat mag-quarantine eh, dahil kasasaksak ng virus eh. Dapat may 14-day quarantine ang mga bakunado. Dahil isinaksak sa kanila yan, ang teorya para ma-immune. Oh.
As a lawyer,
Kaya inuunahan na yung virus na atakihin ng katawan, sinasaksak na para ma-immune ka na. Hindi ka natataklan. Ano ang sistema ng bakuna?
okay, Attorney, pag-usapan po natin yung pagpapatupad nitong memorandum or nitong circular ng DOTR. Kasi mukhang sila sa administrasyon, pati kayo, kasama naman kayo sa administration, naglalabo-labo na. Sinabi ni Presidente, remember, in a democracy, the government has the right to protect the greater number for the greater good. Pagkatapos sabi ng DOTR, no vax, no ride. And then sabi naman ni Secretary Bello, teka, hindi kasama yung mga workers dyan. And then lumalabas ngayon, yung iba naman sinasabi that the local government code allows local government to pass their own laws, and yung League of Provinces and municipalities, sinabi they want to copy that model and bring it to the provinces. Sabi naman ng MMDA, teka, pang Metro Manila lang yan, hindi yan pang buong Pilipinas. What's your response to this confusion?
Alam mo, kung susundin lang ang Constitution and the law, yung Republic Act 11525, yung an act establishing the Corona Disease 2019 Vaccination Program, na sinasabi dito na ang vaccine card ay hindi mandatory for purposes of transactions, for educational and other purposes. O, di ba? Sa trabaho, sa eskwelahan, sa government transaction, wag gawing additional mandatory requirement. Kung susundin lang ito, lahat magkakaisa eh. Kaya nga ang batas, ang definition, norm of conduct, rule of law, na mag-govern para magkaroon ng peaceful operation ng isang sistema, isang sosyudad. Ngayon, kung may batas, Republic Act 11525, hindi naman susundin, batas-batasan lang ba ito ng Kongreso? Mismong Kongreso ang nagpirma dito eh. At ito'y naaprubahan ng eksekutibo. Kung ang susundin ay konstitusyon, yung rights to liberty ng tao wala namang sakit, kung positive, ikulong natin yan o i-quarantine yan. Kung wala namang sakit, bakit mo hindi pa sasakayin? Ngayon, nagpapasalamat ako kay Secretary Bello at positive yung response niya. Ang mga worker hindi dapat isali sa no ride, no vax, no ride policy. Pero ang concern ko, yung mga magtataho, magbabalot, walang ID yan. Mga informal workers, walang ID yan. Ano ipapakita ang ID niyan? Di sila yung hindi pwede sumakay ng bus. So dapat lahat talaga ng tao na, huwag niyong indiscriminate kasi walang valid distinction ang ang unvaccinated sa vaccinated. Anong distinction? Carrier yung unvaccinated? Wala nga pang bakuna pa yan. Wala pa nga yan saksak na virus eh. Ang may saksak yung bakunado.
Okay, paano po, attorney, yung sinabi ni Pangulo, at alam mo, ayokong gamitin si Presidente kasi mukhang lahat yung mga tauhan niya, gano'n na lang ang style eh. Gagamitin, they use the name of the President in vain. But in this case, I have to quote him. He said, we have the right to protect the greater number for the greater good. Ang premise nila, pinoproteksyon na namin yung mga unvaccinated. Kasi totoo naman, statistically, mas maraming nasa ICU, mas malaking number ang namamatay ng mga unvaccinated. Does the government not have the right to implement rules or policies to protect this unvaccinated or even the vaccinated?
Masyadong mahaba yung tanong mo eh. Pero I suggest to interview the doctors from CDC Philippines. Meron silang data na ang mas maraming namatay ay ang mga vaccinated. Actually, may mga kaibigan at kapatid tayo sa media na vaccinated, after vaccination na COVID, namatay. Meron yan, pero hindi nadyadyaryo na vaccinated. Nagtataka nga ako bakit ang report unvaccinated ang mga nasa ICU. Paano yung mga vaccinated na na-ICU at namatay? Nasa na listahan.
Mhm.
So, hindi ko na-interview yung mga na yan, mga doktor na yan, yung CDC PH.
Okay, pero wala po ba karapatan, attorney, ang gobyerno na sabihin, kailangan pinoproteksyonan namin kayong lahat, ito yung aming karapatan?
Talagang dapat proteksyonan. Pero sa pagbibigay mo ng proteksyon sa exercise of the government by virtue of police powers shall not be used to discriminate the citizens without valid cause. Kasi wala kang valid distinction. Bakit mo i-discriminate yung unvaccinated? Lalo yung isa lang dose, hindi na pinasakay. Kailangan daw fully vaccinated. Discriminate mo, nagpapakuna na nga yung ali, tapos hindi mo pa rin isasakay. O tignan mo yan, anong klaseng distinction ang ginagawa nila? Napaka-unfair sa taong bayan. You are curtailing their liberty. Fine. Yung mga positive, quarantine. Yung mga positive, hindi pwedeng lumabas. Pero yung walang sakit, o bakit mo ikukulong yung mga yan? Bakit mo sabi gumamit ng private vehicle? Sino bang may private vehicles? Ikaw, ako, tayo, meron. Paano yung mahihirap?
Okay.
Napaka-antay sa mahirap. Napaka-antay-poor ng pulisya na yan. Sa totoo lang.
Attorney, at the end of the day, ang pinalalabas ng mga katunggali mo in principle or in interpretation is it is up to the Supreme Court or kumbaga sa presinto ka na mag-explain or bring the matter to the court. Are you, as a head of the Public Attorney's Office, going to bring this to the Supreme Court? Because obviously it's a constitutional matter and only the Supreme Court can judge that.
I think we could also go to the RTC for declaratory relief, petition for declaratory relief with a prayer for injunction. Pero sa ngayon, puro pakiusap muna tayo, Kuya Cito. Kasi naramdaman ko naman kay Mayor Joy, bigla na siyang lumambot at sinabi niyang magiging lenient na sila. Meron silang press release. Okay yan, Ma'am Joy. At hinihintay ko po ang konseho ng Quezon City na i-revise, i-amend nila itong kanilang ordinansa na ito na may penalties na fine. At gayon din po, dahil bakit ba? Krimen ba ang hindi ka magpabakuna? Ano ba ang garantiya na protektado ka pag may bakuna? Emergency use authorization pa nga lang yan eh. Wala pang certificate of product registration.
Okay, yung IATF...
gusto lang na matapos ang pandemya. Yun ang gusto ni Pangulo. Wala nang ibang paraan siyang maisip kundi magbakuna. Pero may mga doktor nagsasabi, pag nagkasakit, ihanda mo gamot. Gamot sa sipon, ubo, lagnat. Ano yung makakadeter ng mga sintomas para lumakas ang katawan? Gamot. Okay. Dapat ng mga center natin may gamot. Ang mahirap, pagka nag-positive, nagkasakit after vaccination, hindi mamamatay dahil may gamot.
Yung po bang mga IATF enforcement teams, kasi nakita namin sa video kahapon, sila yung nagbibigay ng mga ticket. Sila po ba may karapatan magbigay ng ticket na gano'n base sa argumento nyo?
Alam mo, kaya nga tayo may batas, kuya, para maging maayos ang sosyedad natin. Pag nagpatuloy ang paglabag sa karapatang pantao, dahil para lang mapilitang magpabakuna ang mga tao, isang araw may rule of the mob na. 50 million pa lang ang nabakunahan, 50 million ang hindi pa. O yung 50 million na yan, kaya tayong lunodin sa isang dagat-dagatan ng kanilang salayba. Pag hindi iniayos ang sistema, kaya nga, saludo rin ako kay Secretary Bebot Bello, kay kay Manong Bebot. Talagang pinagtanggol niya ang mga workers. Kontra rin nga yan. Ngayon talagang ganyan. Democratic society tayo, Kuya Cito. Kaya minsan may mga issue na nagkakaiba-iba tayo ng opinion. Pero at the end of the day, magkakasundo tayo kung ang parameters ng statute or law, Republic Act 11525, at ang konstitusyon sa Bill of Rights ay ating susundin lahat. Yan ang magbibigay ng order sa ating society. At hindi lang yan. Mismo sa portal nila nakasulat. Dapat voluntary ang pagpabakuna. Ngayon indirectly, kinu-coerce ka magpabakuna para makasakay ka ng bus.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Attorney Persida-Acosta. As always, kayo po ay naninindigan and we hope that people will understand the wisdom of what you are fighting for, and more power to you, ma'am. Take care and please stay strong and stay safe.
Thank you po.
Okay. Yan po si Attorney Persida-Acosta, Head of the Public Attorney's Office. And whether you agree or disagree with her, at least mabuti yung meron tayong taong palaban doon sa PAW. Okay? Dahil ang pinaglalaban po nila yung walang kalaban-laban, wala ng pera, wala pang tagapagtanggol sa batas kung maliban sa PAW. And we'll go for a quick break, and when we return, we will now shift to a aspirational topic, our interview of our next guest, Mr. Raymond Rodriguez of Lexus Philippines, who is celebrating their 13th anniversary here on Agenda. Before we wait a minute. Who muted my? I didn't mute my mic. That's the studio. Welcome back to the program agenda. Before we start with our next interview, allow me to read a message from a viewer with ending number 487-6297. People who have proof of being a survivor of COVID should be exempt from being forcefully vaccinated. Why is not natural immunity not being considered? It seems that the phrase "this is an epidemic of the unvaccinated" is no longer true because even those vaccinated and boosted can spread COVID and be infected with virus. Okay, thank you for that message. And let me just add, I think what's causing all of the creating all of the debates and arguments is the incompetency in process and application. Okay, we all can agree that everyone means well. We all can agree that the intention is for everyone's good, pero the road to hell is paved with good intention. So, yan na po, no? Incompetence in process and application. Meanwhile, let's now go to the celebration, the 13th celebration of Lexus Philippines, the luxury car brand. And with us is the president of Lexus Manila, Raymond Rodriguez. Good morning, Mr. Rodriguez.
Good morning, Cito. Nice to see you after a long time.
Okay, well, I'm actually thankful because of this unfortunate set of circumstances. I get to interview people who are so busy, guys like you. I know that Lexus has been so active in spite of the pandemic, and I just got. I saw last week you were celebrating 13th anniversary. Sabi ko, "Oy, that's one of my favorite numbers. Let's go get Raymond Rodriguez." Okay,
Thank you.
Raymond.
Thank you.
Before anything else, could you just tell us a little about yourself? Because I mean, most people know, oh, the guy's the president of Lexus. He's a car guy, but what history do you have? What does it take to get you to that position? Because it is no small feat to assume presidency of Lexus, because not only is it a luxury car brand, I mean it's the higher ups of Japanese corporate scene. So mapili sila sa
Yes,
kinukuha
yes.
nila. How did you arrive where you are? Paano ka nakarating dyan?
Yeah, good question, Cito. So, actually, I graduated. I'm not sure if you know, but I'm a mechanical engineer. So, I have the technology part of the knowledge, and I joined the Toyota Motor Philippines back in 1989. And
Mhm.
from then on, I joined as a localization engineer. I was in manufacturing. Then I went to service, parts, and also vehicle sales, then product manager, and then eventually to Lexus. So I think that type of qualification is a good requirement now for someone to be in this position. And even if I'm part of marketing also and sales, I think you have to have a technical background, Tito, and I think you'll agree to that, no? You're
Mhm.
also a car buff and you're very well versed in terms of technology. So I think it's both, having the technology or technical know-how, and also, of course, the experience. And I've studied also here and even in Japan under Toyota University, and that was also part of the requirements to make me or to have me qualified as a LMI president. So Lexus.
Okay.
So it's management style also. No?
Okay, wait a minute. This is the first time I've ever heard of Toyota University. Meron
Yes.
palang ganun?
Yes, it's a parang knowledge center. It's situated somewhere in Japan. No? So
Mhm.
sometimes we have these quick courses, parang mga management courses. So we have the management development program and so on. So we have those, and that's part of my part of the requirements I had to go through, probably to be here in Lexus Manila.
Okay, because I think Toyota, the Japanese group, takes the Toyota way philosophy very seriously. They have a term for it. Do you remember the Japanese term, the Toyota mindset?
Well, we have like Kaizen, that's
Yeah, yeah,
improvement, no?
yeah.
Continuous improvement. So in whatever we do, we always challenge ourselves to do better. For us,
Mhm.
there's no best, but only better. Yun nga
Okay.
lang, medyo stressful in a way because we're never satisfied, Sito. There's no such thing as perfection, but we always crave to improve, no? We try to improve our operations, we try to improve our relationship with customers, our products. So it's a never-ending improvement cycle. So I think that's one of the most important is the Kaizen.
Okay, the Kaizen philosophy. Now, pasensya na, I don't want to sound so elementary, but I think a question that would pop up in the mind of our viewer is, so what's the difference between Toyota and Lexus? Because I, for one, think Lexus is the higher. Kumbaga, parang yan na yung senior division. Some people think Lexus is a separate entity, a separate brand. Could you explain the relation?
Yeah, so Lexus is actually owned by Toyota and in Japan, and we are the luxury brand of Toyota. So it's always together, Toyota and Lexus. But if you want more higher end models and more luxurious vehicles, we have that all in Lexus. And it goes back in history that even in the US, Lexus was born in the US. That was because Toyota was already doing very well, and we needed to go through another level, which is the luxury brand, where at that time we had Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and other brands selling very well in the US. And Toyota thought of coming up with a luxury brand. So that was when the Lexus brand came in. So it's the higher and it's the luxury brand that we call it.
Okay, now what has the Lexus experience been like? You're on your 13th year celebrating your anniversary this year, if I'm not mistaken. I hope I'm not mistaken. And
That's
what
correct.
has it been like in the Philippine market? Kasi parang, before Lexus was like a dream that would pass by in four wheels. There were very few. They were rare to see in the streets of Manila. Pero ngayon, parang zoom, zoom, zoom. Sabi ko, ba, marami nang can afford sa Pilipinas?
Yes,
Mga
yes.
naka-Lexus na kayong lahat.
Yes, actually, remember, Sito, when we came out in 2009, the dealership here was kami lang solo dito sa area na to, and we only had the Home Depot here, if you can remember. And just when we were supposed to start, there was a crisis, di ba? So at that time, we were selling only like 172 units for 1 year. That was only an average of around 14 units a month.
Mhm.
So will we be able to survive at that time? But of course, it comes in with a few pain, no? To bring in a new brand when most people are not familiar with, except for the influence of the US. No? Most of our Filipinos, some of them have relatives in the US. So that was somehow improved the perception of our customers here that they wanted really that Lexus car to be here in the Philippines.
Mhm.
So there were a lot clamoring for that. And finally, we came out. But we had 2 to 3 years. Syempre, sales wasn't so good at that time. Struggle muna. But then in 2017, we had our record-breaking sales of 1,200, more than 1,250 units in a single year.
Mhm.
That's selling more than 100 a month. And well, last month, we were able to sell close to 568 units, considering the pandemic situation. Uh, we were able to increase our sales even up to 20%. So we're doing quite well in spite of what's happening right now. And we like to
Well,
thank the customers.
quite well. Quite well is a very humble understatement because you've launched a number of new models, and you've been the talk of the town. So, but how did you do it? How did Team Lexus Philippines do it? Because I remember there was a time when people would come to me and ask me, Sito, I want to buy a car. There's this European brand A, European brand B, and then there is the European brand C. And I would go, nasubukan mo na ba yung Lexus?
Hmm.
So how did you manage to break through, so to speak?
Well, that's a good question, Sito. I think one of the most successful factors that we have is the referral. Most of our customers would have friends, and because of the experience they have of owning a Lexus, they're able to tell their friends about our product and our services. And word of mouth goes around, and I think that's the most important for Lexus is through referrals and repeat buyers actually. We have quite a number who had some other brands from other countries, and once they tried Lexus, they would normally buy another one. So they would be a repeat buyer, and eventually they'd own 2 to 3 Lexus. No? We have some who owns 10 Lexus cars and so on. No? So we had to have that experience for our customers. And another one is, of course, we have our test drive. So one can come here in our dealership and test drive our models. No? It's available anytime. And so that's the most important for us is the experience they're able to get from driving our cars.
Okay, now I've only rode on SUV, Lexus SUVs. I don't know if you carry that here, etc. Kasi but I don't really know the range of your product line. I know you have electric car, the EV, electric vehicle. You have the new models. But where is the direction of Lexus Philippines or Lexus International in terms of product offerings? Kasi there's a debate. Some people are telling me, Sito, wala na yung mga sedan, yung mga kotse, wala na yan. That will all be phased out. Everybody in Asia wants SUV or compact SUV. Where is Lexus heading?
Well, first of all, I think our president, Toyota, announced just a few weeks that we will have some electrification. This is electrified. And I think by 2035, most of the vehicles will already be full electric. Our direction is really, Cito, is to promote our hybrid technology. Right now, hybrid is a combination of both electric power and fuel. And we have quite a number of models already. We have in the SUV, we have the RX and the NX in hybrids. And for our passenger cars, we have the IS, the ES, and the LS. So we'd like to promote hybrid technology and increase our sales towards the hybrid technology. No? And eventually, towards the future, maybe it's more on electric cars. But as of now, we continue and we believe that there are also the sedans and the SUVs. It's a preference of our customers. So we have a wide range of products, both SUVs and sedans. And latest is the van, which is said very well. The LM350.
The van?
Yes. It's our number one. Yes,
Did I hear you say the van?
2 years, number one, in terms of our volume, is the LM350.
Seriously?
Yes. It's the...
But what differentiates your van? Because I'm sorry, Raymond, you know me, I'm old school. I'm old school. It's like, what separates the van from other vans? What makes a Lexus?
Yeah, so when I described earlier that the Lexus is the luxury brand of Toyota, it's the same as the Alphard. Totally, the LM is a luxury van of Lexus, and there's so many differences. You can see even the looks, the comfort, the suspension, the ride, the amenities, everything. It's totally different. That's why there's also price difference. And just last year, we were able to sell over 230 LMs. So that is comprising of over 40% of our total sales. So, and most of them have experienced the riding comfort and talagang ano yan. Then word of mouth again. And in fact, we have a quite good number of reservations under this model. We have the two, the 4-seater and the 7-seater.
Okay, let me just put this there in front of you, Raymond, because let's be honest. When you say Lexus, a lot of people will say, "Sito, gumising ka na, nananaginip ka na naman." But I believe in motivating people to be aspirational, and in fact, I've come to realize that if you really want something, there are still ways and means to get what you want. Now, of course, quality comes at a price. And because you have quality, it stays with you a lot longer. What are the pathways to becoming a Lexus owner?
Well, we have some new car sales from Lexus that are first-time buyers. these are the ones who graduate from owning the regular brands and stepping up to a luxury brand. And I would say we have quite a number of that. No, most of them would come in buying our the entry models like the IS and the UX. IS for the sedan and the UX is for the SUVs. It's also affordable because we have a collaboration with Toyota Financial Services. You have all the way up to 60 months of payment. No? So that's one. And others would probably trade in their current vehicles, current vehicle, and then with that amount, that's what they use for down payment for Lexus. No? So we make it very affordable, man. And sometimes we have promotional campaigns that can help our customers have a dream car like the Lexus.
Okay, and the 60 months to pay, and I saw the van. I mean, judging from the looks, I mean, wow, it looks more like something in Star Wars than on the roads of Metro Manila. So you guys have done it again. But okay, so what's in the works for Lexus? One of the things that some people have said to me, Sito, Lexus is good. It's a great brand. Yeah, the quality is there, but what about the maintenance? Because alam mo, Raymond, ang complaint ng mga maraming car buyers ngayon, yeah, I bought a car. I didn't realize I would have a mistress.
Hindi naman ganun
mahal,
kamahal.
mahal daw mag-maintain ng mga luxury brands. What about Lexus?
Well, just to give you an idea, Sito, our Lexus is normally every 10,000 kilometers. So the average Lexus owner would travel between 5 to 10,000 a year. That would probably give you one time to come into our workshop, no? Every 10,000 kilometers. And normally, our periodic maintenance would cost somewhere near the 20,000 peso range. No? And when we did some survey, actually, our periodic maintenance, the cost is not that bad, no? Considering that if you compare us with other luxury brands, I would say that we're quite reasonable in terms of cost when it comes to services. And some would even ask us, no, paano yung hybrid battery pag masira, no? Normally, a hybrid battery of Lexus would cost around 200,000 plus, no? But the Lexus batteries, they're as good. The life of that is as good as the vehicle itself. So you don't normally have to worry about it breaking down, no? And even our warranty for hybrid is up to 5 years, no? Our usual is 3 years, 100,000. But for our hybrid battery and its related components, that's around 5 years. So you really don't have to worry about maintaining. Plus, the price, the value, when you try to sell it in the market, yung used car, we command a high price for Lexus products. And I think owners can attest to that.
Approximately how much would be the resale value of the vehicles? I mean, just on average. I mean, if I bought, let's say, a Lexus, I don't know what price. Let's say you bought it for, let's just say 1 million or 2 million. You bought it. What is the usual resale value? How many percent?
Yeah, well, for the first year, of course, if you really want a high price for that, you can command something like 10 to 15% depreciation. Others would say 15 to 20 for the first year, and then year after that, it's between 10 to 15%. So if you talk about 5 years, the residual value of that should be around 60%. So ang depreciation yan is mga 40 after 5 years. No?
For good thing that we're in the Philippines where cars don't have depreciation value. Anyway, but what about appreciation value, Raymond? Because, with luxury brands, and I have, you and I both have, we know people who are quite well off. Their biggest problem in life is after 5 years, luma na raw yung kotse nila. Parang sabi ko, kung luma na amin bigay mo sa akin. What about the appreciation value? Because how quickly does it become, X years model or parang nalaos?
Well, normally naman you can keep the Lexus, I mean, around even up to 10 years, no? That's on the average some would keep, no? But if you talk about 8 to 9, siguro mga 30% yan, yung remaining value of the car, no? Pag super old na yan, 30% pa siguro ang remaining residual value. So it's still not bad. And we still have a number of customers looking for older cars, no?
Okay, how tough is the Lexus? Because I mean, it looks great, man. Would I love to have one? Would I love to drive one? But I kind of ask myself, I wonder how the Lexus puts up with the kind of roads, if you want to call them roads, in the Philippines.
Well, actually, we have very few warranty cases, no? And I think if you're familiar with the JD Power dependability studies for 9 out of 10 years, we're still number one, no? So that's dependability on the equipment, on the engine, everything, no? So we have that JD Power in terms of customer satisfaction and also dependability indices, no? So we normally top that, no? Ang Lexus. So it's a very durable and high quality car.
Okay, well, sorry, I got mesmerized by that photo of that blue SUV. Medyo ibang klase yung Lexus talaga eh.
Beautiful.
For those who I mean, look, if you one look at your showroom at the BGC, medyo baka mailang yung mga tao. It's very daunting. It's very modern, ultra modern design, and then the beautiful cars, the layout. But how friendly are people there? I mean, if someone wants to just walk in and take a look at your cars, ano ba ito? Puro by appointment, etc., walk in, etc.?
Well, Cito, we're always open. We welcome anyone. Whether maski magchinelas ka, we don't discriminate here. And I think our customers or even visitors to our showroom would even attest to that. Anyone is welcome. And we don't, we have this culture that we call the omotenashi. I'm not sure if you are familiar with that, but that's the Japanese spirit of hospitality. So we're trained to entertain our customers. And one simple way of doing it is we treat our customers as a guest, like in our own home, no? So we welcome that. Walang problema yan. So you can come here, you can even request for a test drive, and walang pressure yan. So it's a homey place. It's like going into someone's home, but this time it's for anyone.
Okay. Baka naman para kayong casino. Test drive, no problem, sir. Can we see your credit card?
No naman, as long as you have a valid license, okay lang naman.
Okay. Hindi, kasi I would din. In this day and age, parang, teka, pwede mo ba makita yung credit card nyo? Parang casino di ba? Anyway, but that philosophy is very good, Raymond, because when I was a sales promotions manager in Sony, I remember an incident. An elderly woman walked in with a bayong, literally a bayong. She didn't, she was dressed so ordinary, provinciana, and she was looking at the high-end stereo, and some sales guy was ignoring her. So I walked over and Manang, can we help you? Ganyan. So we helped her. Anak, I just want to look at the products. Tagalog, no? Titingnan ko lang yung mga products. So explained it for about 30 minutes. Not knowing that in the bayong was cold cash. I mean, this woman had like $500,000 of cold cash to buy a stereo. So that made my day. Anyway, this interview has made my day. Raymond, I'm impressed with the lineup, and I'm happy for people to see what your showroom looks like. And I do hope you have an even better 14th anniversary next year, my friend. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Cito, and more power to One News. And I hope you drop by one of these days. Matagal na hindi ka pupunta dito.
Okay, will do. Thank you very much.
All
And
right,
that, ladies and gentlemen, is Raymond Rodriguez, President of Lexus Manila. And like you said, if you just want to have an idea of what luxury is all about, just go. Hindi naman po kasalanan yon. Hindi naman po kasalanang managinip at mag-ambisyon, because I remember this story of a young girl who used to come to our place in Lipa. She would read all of the magazines, the Architectural Digest, etc. And she would dream. Young girl to, dream na sana one day makakita ako ng ganitong bahay. Now she owns one in Hawaii. Ako po, hindi pa nakakatungtong sa Hawaii. Siya nakatira na sa Hawaii. Okay, let's go to our weekly blessing. From 2 Corinthians chapter 9 verse 8 NIV, and God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the weekly blessing we bring to you. Thank you for being subscribers of Cignal TV, viewers of One News PH, and watching Agenda. God bless all of you. Keep it here on One News PH.